Jr. The one thing that you show people quite often is conduct, right? The better word is decorum. Just imagine if we adopted better decorum, how our community would be. You know, and that's a thing that people can identify as negative and positive. You know what I'm saying? We know what bad decorum is, and we know what good decorum is overwhelmingly, right? So just imagine if we started with that, something very surface, but we are so casual, and our decorum is just seemingly, from my anecdotal experience, a lot lower than a lot of the cultures that we kind of look at as being successful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had a question. Now,
Yes,
what was
ma'am.
the verse again? It was
Uh,
Exodus what?
Exodus 4. You could jump to verse 30.
Oh yeah, I'm holding a Bible and I haven't burst into flames, y'all. I got four of them.
All right.
For
Well,
those
make sure
who
you
think
keep
I
water.
don't
Keep some
believe.
water by your bed.
Say what now?
Keep some water by your bed.
At all times.
I
I have a
mean,
carafe right by my bed every
fire
night.
extinguisher. You never know.
You
You,
shut
you
your
know what
mouth.
I think? I think, and I was gonna say this earlier, but I think the solution is to have more genuine conversations. And when I say that, I mean go into a conversation in good faith, thinking that the person across from you has something to offer, um, thinking that, understanding that you can learn from everybody, and just genuinely listening. Right? I think like a lot of the guys that be in this red pill space, I got a lot of the same parallel beliefs as a lot of them. Right? Like I'm to some degree like I'm what I'm traditional to some degree, not to a full degree, obviously not, right? But to some degree, like I like a traditional style household, right? And I see my woman a certain way. Like my woman come from a family of like strong women who like I don't need no man, but it ain't that don't fly over here, right? Like she had to learn, like, oh, this is the type of man I want. This is how I'm operate, right? And I think that the reason that I think a lot of women I'm able to actually change a lot of their perspectives is because I listen when I talk to them. I listen, right? And I care about actually communicating to them in a way that they can actually be heard. They call me a simp in the comments, right? They threw that word out, right? But all I do is I'm interested in understanding why you think the way you think. And then I'll give you a remedy, right? Or hopefully I open up your mind and I show you my perspective and why this isn't so bad, right? So, yeah.
I want to say something just to piggyback off of what you just said. And I guess I'm going to probably say like kind of a contradicting statement. Y'all know I tend to do that, understand both sides. But I think a lot of women, when they hear y'all speak and y'all so intelligent, we see y'all insight, like Sierra. My experience was a lot like Sierra. You get what I'm saying? And I do feel like sometimes the judgmental when we say our situations because we're not married off bat or have kids or whatever the case is for each of one of us, when we say it, y'all instantly think of a situation that y'all know personally, and then we kind of get judged as if our character might match that person, that's been in that situation. So it's hard for us to be vulnerable. But one thing I can say, Sierra, don't ever be afraid to speak up for yourself. I don't know why God always put me on this panel when we kind of have like kind of new people on here, but I kind of went through what you went through, and they kind of help you build this discipline and this. I don't know how to say it. Like how he said, Lapeef have decorum. There's a way to express yourself and still be feminine, and I think you tend to shut down because you don't want to come off aggressive. But just play into it. I feel like this is a safe space. At first I didn't. I trusted it. I trusted this space. I've seen sides of myself. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't even know if I was ready for the world to see, but I always trust God's process no matter what. Okay. Regardless of how I might try to resist. But this is a safe space, and they will get to know you. And I'm pretty sure Bo could tell you the same thing because she was feeling like that. But But be honest, there's times where these men on this panel will surprise you and be like, damn, you do get it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you get it. And then you can even look back at the panels and be like, okay, I did get kind of emotional there. That's some things that, you know, we will work on, but these men will challenge you. They will push you. And it does feel uncomfortable, but change is uncomfortable. Remember that. And I do want to let you know this is a positive space. I don't vouch for many spaces. But yeah, it's a cool space. And I think you should come back because I love your insight and the fact that you're 27, you're around my brother's age, and I'm very understanding to people your age that's going through what you're going through. I understand your mind frame and how you think because y'all are more advanced than me. You know what I'm saying? It Humans aren't going to keep evolving regardless of the fucked up people out there. But I can tell that you're one of those. So just trust these people and they'll help your growth and hopefully teach you how to put yourself in environments that you're attracting men who think like you and teach you how to present yourself, you know? But that's all I had to say.
I guess I can. I'll just quickly jump in. I mean, I can only tell you from the 3 years or some odd years that I've been up here through different spaces that um, um, when you're trying to communicate with people amongst yourself who are older, younger, all diversity and demographics, you get a whole bunch of perspectives that you may or may not agree with, but I think you really grow. Growing up, I come from a different era, so I mean, we don't have panels, we ain't got YouTube, we ain't got social media, we ain't got cell phones. I mean, everything was happening outside in real time. I mean, this is the first time ever that I'm be able to, talk from people from all over the United States or the globe about important issues that I couldn't get this kind of information or access to everyone like this in my 20s or in my teenage years. So I kind of appreciate the fact that we can all come together and actually discuss an issue in depth that applies to all of us because we've all been through something that's pretty fucked up. But it kind of results in the results that we want are something better. We want a better outcome. And so by any means, I think that we should just be able to receive everyone's input equally, and then be able to go from there and have a better like back and forth and try and understand each other rather than try and argue at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it ain't easy, but it's fruitful. It's beneficial. I
Yeah.
appreciate JR for the opportunities and all that. And I just want to be clear: when you come on a panel, right, you open yourself up to criticism, whether you like it, understand it, accept it, believe it or not. Whether it's on the panel in the chat, that's what we're here for. But I do hope that we all are actively listening, even when we disagree. You know.
And I
Sure.
think once you get on these panels a few times, you start to learn how to handle yourself. So I don't know how often Sierra be on here, but you start to kind of learn like how to conquer, you know, the conversation the right way and kind of how to get your points in there and how to make yourself be heard, kind of. So it's a process.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, lady O.
I'm just done. But yeah, I think that
She ain't know.
well, leave me alone. You look, I can handle these. Let me tell you something. I worked as a cosmetologist for 25 years. I did thousands of women hair, thousands.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
so I can handle it. Yeah, I haven't really had any bad experiences, but I'm just saying I'm definitely um, you always around people. Not everybody sat in your chair liked you. That's something that you had to learn as a cosmetologist. Some people hate your guts, will talk about you. I even had other stylist friends who people sat in her chair was trying to mess with a man. Like people are really messy. You have got to know how to deal with different personalities. You cannot force anybody to like you, love you, understand you in life, and that's where I come from. You just cannot do that. You can talk to hundreds of people. You may like when you're out here, like when I was getting ready to I was going to do a hair care line at one time, and I was had someone from L'Oreal to contact me. One of the guys who worked for them, he was going to create me a hair relaxer. This is probably about 10 years ago. He said, he said I can create you a really good product. He said, but you got to understand that you cannot please everybody. You got to understand that that's how life works. I can't please y'all. That's fine. I'm used to it. That's just not how life works. So Was somebody saying something? I'm sorry, I'm muted up.
No.
Okay. So that's all I'm saying. So you don't have to perceive me. That's fine. You don't know me in person. I don't know you. But my thing is, I try not to tell you any lies. I try not to tell you things that I'm going to where I'm misleading you, because my message is nothing but women should have higher standards for themselves. That's basically my whole entire message. I think we have terrible, terrible standards for ourselves, and that's because I lived there. I've been there. So
Period.
Mhm.
yeah, that's
I
it.
had a question for you, Sierra. Do you think that there's a shift occurring amongst people your age or younger, like right around your age, when it comes to like pushing away from liberalism and going to more conservative, or is it getting more liberal, or like as an ideology? Do you see the trajectory of the people underneath you being the same, or could you speak to that?
It's hard for me to speak to that because I feel like I'm an anomaly.
Why do you mean? What do you think your difference is as opposed to everyone else?
Um, I just think that I was dealt a different hand of cards, and I know that we all were, right? But I don't engage in a lot of the things that people my age engage in. I'm not a drinker. I smoke, but that's about it. Like, I'm not a drinker. I don't really party. I don't do a lot. I was always like the nerd, the study girl. Like, I was never that person. So it's hard for me to even relate to a lot of people my age because I'm not into those things. And a lot of people that are my age are like just now coming into maturity. Like a lot of men are just now at that age of full development as well as women. And so it's just hard for me to relate. I don't really hang out with people my age. I don't work with people my age. So I'm just not like I'm always around older folks.
Do you think the people your age outside of you even care about marriage at this point?
I definitely think that there are like some of us that definitely care about marriage. I mean, I'm one of those people. I very much so care about marriage. Like, my mom's not married. Like, my dad is, and I like battle with my mom about like the fact that like you live this life of like a single woman, and that's cool, that's good and fine and dandy for you, but like I'm not living that lifestyle. Like I want a man, like I want a husband, like I'm setting my lifestyle up to welcome somebody into mine, and really not even welcome into mine, like me going into theirs. Like it's not like it's a collaboration. And so like the things that she wants, like me and her, living with my mother is like even difficult because she isn't looking for a relationship, she isn't looking for a marriage, whereas I'm half her age, more than half her age, and I'm looking for those things, I want those things, I'm pursuing people, I'm pursuing dating, I'm and so it's just like even that dynamic is difficult to maneuver through because like the things that I want happening in my household, and having company over at my household, and even though it's my house, like it's that just the dynamic of wanting to have that unionship, and knowing that my mom has been single for over a decade and she has no interest in moving towards a relationship. So like I think that there's a lot of people who see relationships and want marriage but don't even really understand, because there are a lot of us who have parents who are never married, or have parents who married late too. Like my dad didn't get married until I was, I want to say, 15 or 16. I didn't go to his wedding. He had a punk little wedding in on the way home from my birthday. Like I was actually more upset about it. Like why would you do that than
Mm,
excited for them. So it's
mm,
just like, even my experience with watching, my parents being married is very skewed and very different than what a lot of other people have experienced. And so, like, when I think about, what I've been through, and then also hearing, like, I work with people who are my age and younger, and I work with this generation to help them build their mindset and build autonomy and get connected to the services that they need and help care coordinate, like so that they can get their lives together and get on the path to doing the things that their parents and that they wanted to do, alongside of what their parents wish for them. And so, even hearing their stories about, what they saw growing up and, what they also desire, what they saw were broken homes and dysfunctional relationships and abuse. And so they're looking for marriage, but they don't know anything else. And unfortunately, the abuse and the trauma is comfortable for them, and you have to, like, it's truly a mindset. I fell into it. I was in a relationship, a man broke my arm. I have a 10-inch scar that's never going to leave my body, that I have to look at every day, that reminds me of a man who broke my arm. And do I take accountability for that? Absolutely. I knew that the relationship was toxic. I knew that I was not good for him and that he was not good for me. I knew that, he has put his hands on me before. I shouldn't have been there in the first place, right? So I take accountability for my part in it. But did I deserve that? Never. Never. Never.
Yeah,
And my hands were never put on him either, for anyone wondering. I never put my hands on him. My arm was broken, and no violence came from my soul that night. It
Did you
was
lock them up?
blasphemy. It was
Did you please tell
blasphemy.
me? Did you lock them up?
I'm not going to disclose any further details just for my safety.
That's
And
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's
I just
fair.
want to say
but
I'm
my
glad
point is
that you
that
left,
I
because a lot
can't
of
speak
people.
for everybody in my generation, but I know that there's a lot of women who come from extraordinarily broken homes who still aspire for, marriage and traditional marriage, and want these things, but don't even know how to guide themselves to get to the right support and to get to the right tools to understand what that even looks like. And so when I'm in these conversations and I'm listening to these things and I'm listening to how you talk about the younger generations, what bothers me the most is the misunderstanding of, like, the true ignorance in our journeys. We really don't know often what we're looking for because we've never had a good example to look at. And so marriage is a very skewed idea for a lot of younger people, and Gen Z has a lot of issues with this because we're only just now starting to talk about mental health. It was cliche 13 years ago. Okay, I've been working in mental health for 14 years. I'm 27 years old. Yes, I have been working in mental health since I was 13 years old on youth organizations. I've been sent to DC multiple times as a youth to get training. I've literally done national organizations, statewide conferences, like all kinds of different things. I've been studying this my entire life. It is my passion.
Yeah,
And
so
so all of those experiences go into why this generation of people are not aligned with marriage. And that's why I talk about trauma so much. It's not to acknowledge that you need to coddle me because I've been through trauma. It's to acknowledge that there's a lot of ignorance due to this trauma, because there were a lot of things that were never taught to these children. These children never had a good example to look at. And a lot of these kids were literally couch chopping with their parents, just trying to figure it out. So
yeah.
all of that needs to be in consideration when we're talking to younger generations, because our role models didn't always have it together too either.
So yeah, I appreciate you explaining that, and I want to say I'm glad you was able to leave that relationship. A lot of times people don't leave those relationships until it's final. What is it, like one out of every four or something that doesn't leave an abusive relationship? The time right before they're about to leave, something actually happens to them that's final. So I'm glad you were able to get through that, and it sounds like you're able to help young people in those scenarios now that you found a passion for it. What like, do you have like some type of a pathway for people that are on the next phase of the journey that you're working with to put them in front of, like maybe a elder who's been married for a little while as an example, or somebody you could funnel them to?
Yeah, so we often connect our clients with mentors in the community. We often do the same thing with their children. So not only are we pairing them with somebody who is a role model and somebody that they like, it's not usually just like I heard what you said about like, somebody who's married. A lot of times it's somebody who is like in the field that they're interested in, right? So if somebody I know is interested in like going in culinary arts, like what I'm going to do is go reach out to somebody at Stark State, and I'm going to get them like connected with this person so that they can start having a conversation with them, and they can start communicating about how to get in, how to get financial assistance, how to apply for scholarships, and get them on that journey. So really we're the connector to a lot of these organizations. And so it's pretty cool because we're able to do a lot of work without a lot of the legwork. So I'm not the person who's filling out all of the applications. I'm giving the application. I might be driving it here and there, but then I'm also the person in the background making sure that, okay, if they do go to this college, then we need obviously childcare. How are we going to pay for it if you have to come out of pocket? So do we need to pick up a part-time job or take some type of work study? And so it's like it's very holistic. We're not just here to dish out one resource and, oh, we got you enrolled, cool, congratulations, keep it pushing. Like we're gonna sit here and be along with you on that journey and make sure that all of those things are all those bases are covered.
And all this is through the state, or they need part of insurance?
Yeah, so basically it's a program that's run through Medicaid. So yeah, it's through the state. So our funding comes through Medicaid. But it's a statewide program, and then each county has it's through the community action agencies. So our hubs are out of the community action agencies that are statewide throughout every county.
Yeah, that's dope. When you was talking about like the elder examples, I know they may not provide examples. Do they try and shame you for what you want at all, or is that not a thing?
Can you repeat that? I missed part of it.
Like when you talk about the examples of relationships, like, or older women that are in those relationships, the ones that aren't, do some of them try and shame you or that speak down upon your desire for what you want in the future?
I mean, I get a lot of shame, honestly. I've made a lot of choices that people, don't agree with. I mean, I
No,
have
no,
no
not your
problem.
past. I'm saying like what you aspire to. Like you were saying earlier, you aspire to marriage. I was curious, are they supportive in that, or do they kind of say like you don't need that, or is like what type of energy
I
is it?
mean, honestly, I feel like the elders that are in my life, like they're not they don't push for it. Like I don't get the question of, oh, when are you bringing somebody home, or when are you when is it gonna happen? When are you gonna find the right person? Like I feel like my dad maybe has some underlying feelings, but he doesn't project them. So no,
You
I
would,
don't really, I can't really answer that because I don't really get those. I don't really have those conversations with people. Like,
that's fair. Yeah, sometimes like, so like I'll be on random apps or whatever, right? And then I'll hear like it's a lot of like women who've gotten older and they're completely anti-men. And I was wondering, were you like running into any of those type of people in
yeah, I feel like I
your
definitely
dating
have a lot of like not a lot, a few anti-men people around, but I
life?
honestly don't spend a lot of time around them because like I'm not anti-men. I am
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
very pro black men. I am
yeah.
very pro like healthy masculinity. I think that there is a very beautiful dynamic in healthy relationships, and in men they bring such beautiful qualities to any space. Like
Hmm.
I really hate how broken and torn down our families really are, and it breaks my heart because I love black love so much, but it is hard. But again,
Yeah.
I get it because we are all navigating so many traumas and just trying to survive at the same time. We live in a society that systematically oppresses us. And so navigating that on top of the blatant racism that we experience and all of the other challenges like that we just life throws at us, it's difficult to even navigate dating. Like I don't even have time. Like I literally have to carve it out if I am speaking to somebody or interested in somebody. Like if I'm not dating, like that's cool with me. I got all the time in the world to do all my things that I have not had time to do. Cool. Like I got plenty.
Yeah.
I got lists for days. So it's one of those things where I aspire for it, but I'm also not going to beg for it because I feel like what's going to be for me, God is definitely going to make sure that that's clear. And I'm not going to sit here and try to fight God. So if I feel fearful, the only man I fear is God. I'm not going to be with you. If I feel intimidated, if I feel like you're not for me, that's not God. That's not God presenting this man to me. And I don't want something that's not for me. And I also know that the woman like that I'm like when the man that is for me comes around, there is going to be no question. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that every quality that is supposed to come out of me as a wife is going to be there, no question. And I've seen those qualities come out in aspects, but it was kind of like, a tidbit here and there. And I'm ready for that connection, but I'm not ready to force it either. And I'm not ever going to force it.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.